Alright, so we've got some big stuff to cover. First and foremost, this is the 10,000 subscriber Q&A. Woohoo, motherfuckers, we did it. I haven't really had a chance to sincerely say, fuck yeah, I have 10k subscribers just yet. But I'm doing it right now. And this is more or less the culmination of that celebration. It's a Teripper Nation. That sounds terrible. But I'm going with the theme. So, what's going to happen today? I'm going to answer a lot of questions. And the reason I'm all over the face thing is because I just want it to be a little more personal today, you know? If you guys want to see Chivalry, I do that in all my other videos. Another Chivalry video is going to be coming out Friday, probably, so you can see me do that anytime. Now, just a forethought warning, whatever. I did not get everyone's YouTube name when I got their questions, so bear with me. If your question was answered and I didn't mention your name, I apologize. It's a little difficult to copy the name in every single question, but I did my best. So, why don't we just go ahead and get started. Hi there, Teripper. This is from Wanna Take You Home 3. I'd get taken home any day of the week, friend. He has a couple questions. Tell us how you came up with the idea of creating your own content on YouTube. So, the way I came up with my own content on YouTube, let me just select it. First and foremost, I really liked Chivalry. And I used to make Modern Warfare 2 videos. That was my claim to fame. And by claim to fame, I mean I got shit for views. And by shit for views, I mean a couple hundred. So actually, that was pretty big for me at the time. But I realized I really did not like making videos in Modern Warfare 2. I did post commentaries. It was too much work for me, subjectively. So I stopped doing it. And then when Chivalry came around, I realized I love this game to such a degree that I need to start making videos for it. And that's exactly what I did. And now we're here. That was like 3.5 years ago, I think. It's a long time ago. How would I describe the current state of my channel in perspective of the last months and years? Well, the last few months, it's been steadily rising. The last few years, it's been linear up, which is pretty cool, actually. And I'm almost certain that when Mordau comes out, it's going to shoot up. I hope so. That's what everyone's kind of been thinking and saying, and that's what hopefully will happen. But we shall see. Am I ever going to edit your videos? I will not accede or deny that. I may. I will probably end up editing them at some point. When Mordau comes out, my quality will probably increase a lot. So we'll see. That remains to be seen. We'll see. What about my fan base? Do I feel some kind of support from your audition, or maybe you lack the feeling of interaction? I'm not sure what he means by audition, but I think I know what he means by my audience. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I haven't said it enough in the last couple weeks, I'm going to say it now. You guys are pretty much the reason I do this. I do it also because Chivalry is a fun game, and I like talking and using my voice for things that are funny and entertaining and hopefully educational in some cases. But in the end, you guys keep me doing it. All right? And that's what matters in the end. Your guys' support. If I didn't get your guys' support, I would have stopped a long time ago. So thank you guys very much for that, and thank you. I want to take you home for those beautiful questions. Next is John Mosen. His question for the Q&A: what do I enjoy most on YouTube, and what supports my drive to make videos and upload them regularly? So, what I enjoy most on YouTube is actually mostly parody content. I don't watch all that many commentaries, just gameplay commentaries anymore. It's usually just gameplays for games I'm considering buying, and things of that nature. My girlfriend really likes vlogs and the like, but I'm not really into that sort of thing. I am really just sometimes podcasts, game reviews. I love Total Biscuit. I like Criken. He makes comedy content. It's really all over the place. That's what I enjoy the most on YouTube. What supports my drive to make videos and upload them regularly? I think I basically mentioned that. I enjoy doing this, first and foremost, but secondly, you guys keep me doing it in the end. Pretty much. Thanks for the questions, Jonas. Also, I think I may not have gotten this guy's name. One of my favorite bands or music groups. Well, I could just pull my Spotify over here. Oh, didn't want to be here. I don't really have favorite bands or music groups per se, though I do like, specifically, a couple German metal bands. I like Rammstein a bit, but I actually like another one a bit more. I forgot their name, though. Shit. They made a song called Ich bin ein vager Satan. I like German metal bands because I've been learning German the last year and a half, and I love the language. It's cool. But I'm mostly into dubstep, techno, ambience, that sort of thing. I'm all over the place, really. Some of my favorite dubstep artists, though, I would probably pen down as Savant is fantastic. Omnitic is good. Cell Dweller. Cell Dweller and Savant are probably my favorite if I had to pin down 2 or 3. But that is a solid question. Samael asks, what are my thoughts on using third person? Finally, a game question. So, my thoughts on using third person are, if you're more comfortable with it, go for it. Some people have just played more third person games. I completely understand that. I have friends who have never played Halo, never played Battlefield, COD. They spent their whole lives playing Gears of War, Mass Effect games, all the Mass Effect games. They are used to third person, and if you're like that, I recommend it to you. Some servers will disallow it because it can introduce an element of unrealisticness, as well as abusability. For example, you can see slightly behind your character. So if you're face hugging from behind, you can do a reverse overhead with no penalty whatsoever. You can't miss as long as you can see the person behind you. That's the main qualm I have in that regard. Totes McGoats, it's a pretty common commenter. I appreciate it. Question: what career am I going to college for? So, this is a different question. I am, at the moment, just going to college because, why not? Reasons. But I'm currently going for a communications media degree, and hopefully in the future, I'll be able to work in some manner of broadcasting. Ultimately, I'd like to make something like this my full-time job, but that is obviously a pipe dream that hopefully will be realized in due time. It'll take a long time, but hopefully it'll be realized. Before then, I've got a couple plans, broadcasting, hopefully get into esports a little bit. That would be real nice. Thank you, Totes McGoats. Rhinazil. That's a cool name, Rhinazil. I need to add that to a D&D campaign. What tips for you have for a relatively new player for improving? A lot of 4s. 100 hours-ish. Biggest thing, watch my old tactics videos. I was much better back then, and I knew what the hell I was talking about. I know they're a bit disjointed, but if you listen to them, they've got a lot of really good general ideas that you can take into your mind and use while you're playing, kind of as a good foundation for how to play Chivalry. Also, as 100 hours-ish, you'll probably want to be dropping a few dozen hours into both duels and team objective servers. Maybe about half and half. Team objective because it never gets old. It's fun as hell. Duels because that will test you. Always. So thank you for the question, Ryan Nezil. Duels are always useful. Harlequin first. Oh, no, Harlequin. First question. Can we request challenges? Yes. Yeah, I think he's talking about in respect to the Chivalry challenge video I put up last Friday. Second question. Can you do a tutorial on how to deal with very fast enemies? Yes, I can. In fact, I'm going to move this to a different list. YouTube video pipeline. All right. I keep making that noise, and I actually hate it. Ferrat Ilgar. Do you smoke cig? Nope. Drink alcohol? Nope. Although I'm not against that. Any of that. Although smoking's bad for you. Don't do it, kids. Weed? Meh. Are you planning to play any other medieval combat games in the future? Yeah! Rather than Mordhau. Yeah, actually. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm planning on playing that. Bannerlord. Mount and Blade Bannerlord. Kingdom Come. For Honor. Mirage Arcane Warfare. Well, that's a little bit outside the realm of medieval combat games. There was another one. I'll think of it later. But that's what's... Yeah, absolutely. I love medieval combat games. That's what I'm into now. And Mordhau's not the only thing. What do you do in your free time except playing video games, recording videos? I read fantasy novels. I love them. I also play lots of D&D, which if you've been watching my channel the last few weeks, you kind of have gotten an idea of. I'm also kind of an off and on viewer of anime. I wouldn't consider myself a weeaboo, but I'd certainly say that it's one of my favorite styles of TV. It's hard to express, really. But thank you for the questions, Ferrat. I like reading, just to offset some more questions that people are going to ask. I really enjoy, I'm trying to think of a novel series that I really, really enjoyed. Oh, The Chronicles of the Black Company. If you've never read it, read it. Now. Period. I don't care what your preferences are. Go read it. It's awesome. It's called The Chronicles of the Black Company. Read it from start to finish, every book. I haven't read the last few books, sadly, because it just got a little bit stale. But the first, I think, 3 books are works of art. I love them. So that's that. Also, the Ratcatcher books by Matthew Colville, who I've mentioned on this channel before. Check those out; they're fantastic. All right, spent enough time on that. Ezekiel56, another common commenter. What genre of books do you like to read? Like I said, fantasy fiction. Also sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Which, if any, is your favorite, and what is your favorite book? All right, my favorite genre, I'm going to have to say, is fantasy fiction set in Middle Ages. Those have always, ever since I could read, were my favorite books ever, period. Hands down. What is my favorite book? Oh, God, this is going to be hard. Funnily enough, I think I'm going to have to say Ender's Game. And some of you will probably hate that. And some of you will say, but Teripper, you just said your favorite book genre was fantasy fiction. This is sci-fi fiction. Well, it's a good book. It's a really good book. It's meant for kids, but my God, it can be read by someone in the Middle Ages, in their middle age, and they'll still enjoy it. And my God, I read it a couple years ago for like the second or third time, and I forgot the ending. If you don't remember the ending to Ender's Game, don't look it up. Go read the book again. You will flip the fuck out. Period. So that, yeah, I'm going to have to say that. All right, Ezekiel also asked, what's better between D&D online and D&D in person? Why, and would you encourage both? First of all, yes, I would encourage both. Whichever one you can get into easiest, do it. As long as there are less barriers of entry, it's going to be a lot easier to just get into it and play. That's what matters in the end. Which would I prefer? I haven't played an in-person D&D game in over 5 years. So I'm a bit, I barely remember what it's like to play it physically. However, one thing I do remember, and the reason why I would say that playing it physically is just objectively better than playing it online, is the feel, the experience. When you're playing it online, you know, you've got a group of people, they meet up, you're in a Skype call or whatever, you play your game, you have fun, then you get off, you end the call, whatever happens. But if you play it in real life, these are people you know. Generally, they're friends of yours. And when you play it, it's so personal. It's so visceral. You can act out things that they can actually see if you're not able to use a webcam in an online game. So without going into too much more detail, I would say see if you can get into an in-person game quickly. If you can't, go for an online game. Because in-person games are they're a lot easier to teach other people how to play the game, first of all. And second of all, it's just a much richer experience, in my opinion. But it doesn't take away from the experience if you play it online, I wouldn't say. All right. How would you say going about doing the latter? If you have a local like game shop, and by I don't mean GameStop, I mean a shop that sells board games or dice sets or D&D books, go there. They may have a wall or a board that you can post on. There's always going to be a couple groups in your city, in your area. Always. There are always nerds, and nerds love D&D. No offense, any nerds who don't love D&D. Most nerds love D&D. Go figure. Just try to find a means in that vein, and it'll work out. All right, if I were transported into a fictional universe, which would I like it to be, and what would you want to be within it? Ooh, I haven't thought of this one. This is tough. This is really tough. I love zombie universes. Despite the fact that I'm really into fantasy fiction, I love universes with zombies. I think they're really cool. They're definitely not magical, but they introduce so many cool aspects. Oh shit, there's another really good book I should mention. It's not in any of my... It is a fiction book, but it's World War Z, and you can look it up yourself, whatever. Anyway, that universe would be cool to be in, but mostly, of course, I'd want to be in a fantasy fiction universe. A regular medieval universe I wouldn't want to be in because I'd die of a disease, most likely. It's about a 50% chance of that. I'm probably wrong, I'm probably exaggerating, but go figure. What would I like to be in it? I'd love to be a... My God. It's going to sound nerdy as hell, but I'd love to be a knight in a fantasy fiction universe. It's been my dream since I was a kid. I told my mom I wanted to be a knight when I grew up because I had all these pretty little picture books about knights and shit. All right, before I start tearing up. Does my girlfriend game as well? If not, why not? She does not. She is much more into the realm of reality, so to speak. She definitely has nothing against gaming, per se. It's just kind of a foreign element to her. I'll probably try to get her into it at some point, but at the moment, I have no less respect for people who do not play video games, as long as they can respect the fact that I enjoy them. And she does, which is good. On a scale of 1 to 4, how essential would you say having a good dwarf accent is to being a good DM? And if one is not good at accents, how would one improve to be a good DM? So this is definitely a question meant for a D&D video, but I'm going to go ahead and answer it now as well as put it in the YouTube video pipeline. So first of all, on a scale of 1 to 4, how essential would you say having a good dwarven accent is to being a good DM? 1, you don't need to do accents to be a good DM. I've had people who play who just do, for example, Matthew Colville, in his videos, he's a really good D&D video producer. He does his D&Ds like this, I think. The men like to be below. They're really emphatic. My dwarves, they're all Scottish. It's pretty easy to keep track of. Hey, I want some ale. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah, I would not say all accents help you being a good DM. It adds to the color of your world, yes, but it doesn't really aid in your ability to DM. That's about it. I will make a video on that eventually, though, because that's interesting. What are the top things you think DMs should try to do to be effective and engaging? I'm going to save that for a D&D video as well, just because I don't want this to become a D&D Q&A. Will you do a tactics on feint to parrying, because that shit is difficult? Yes. Yes, I will. So I'm going to put it in the video pipeline. This is kind of a preview to some videos I'm going to end up doing in the near future, actually, so this is cool. Aaron, A.K. Cowser, the Cowser 18. That's a cool name. A.K. A.K. Do you plan on interviewing the devs in Mordhau again? Yes. The devs making Mordhau again? Yes. Absolutely. I talked about it in that first interview, in fact, where I think I talked about it where I'd like to do another interview with them, maybe before the game releases. I'm not sure about the details of that, though. Aaron had another question. Can you make a video reacting to your oldest videos? That's a cool idea. I'll consider that. Give me your guys' feedback on whether I should be making these videos or not. Also, any of you who are actually watching this. Do I like cheese? Whoa, shut up. Do I like cheese? I love cheese, but I can't eat it. I can't eat most cheese. There's a chemical in aged cheese that actually causes headaches. And I get headaches a lot, so I don't. But I love cheese. I love cheese. I used to eat so much goddamn cheese. That's why I had so many headaches. Whatever. I like cheese. Schwame Mortimer for Q. That's a name. Any advice to get to a good level with Longsword Knight? I would say watch the tactics video for Longsword. I think I mentioned a lot of good things about the Longsword Knight. And even the old tactics videos. For all of you guys wondering if those are still relevant, yes. All of the stuff I talked about, for the most part, is practical knowledge. So it doesn't change with balancing stuff. But any advice I can give right now to get on a good level with a Longsword Knight? Do your best to know the Longsword's range, know its speed, know everything about it. This is the thing about the middle ground weapons. With a Messer is not a middle ground weapon, nor is a Sword of War. With a Messer, you can just swing and spin around and reverse, and you'll win eventually, because it can be dragged easily. The Sword of War also can be dragged easily, but the other way around. It can be excelled really easily. It can be you can get around your opponent's guard. Longsword's actually a tiny bit harder to use, I'd say, which is kind of interesting, seeing as it's the first weapon you have as a knight in the sword category. I would say learn its ins and outs, and then you'll be able to use it well enough. And that sounds very vague, but that's the best I can do for you, really. Chippy Hay asks, my question to you is, do you still play Chivalry for fun? Do you only play it for YouTube purposes? As I said, I do still enjoy playing Chivalry now and again. I have definitely hit a point of burnout, I think. I have over 1,000 hours in this thing. That's a lot of hours, all right, let me tell you. And at that point, a lot of people can knock 3,000, 4,000 hours onto a game. I can't do that. All right, Chiv is the most I've ever played a game in my life, period, end of story. It's falling off the pyramid, so to speak. But that doesn't mean I don't have fun with it now and then. All right. What am I studying in school? Communications media, like I said before. It's basically media-concentrated communications. Zachary Smith asks, what class would you say takes the least skill? Archer, Man-at-Arms, Vanguard, Knight. And what weapons for that class would make you classify it as having low skill? All right. So I think every class takes about the same amount of skill. A lot of people think Man-at-Arms doesn't take a lot of skill to use. They have the least health to go around. I sincerely disagree with the idea that they are the least skillful. They're the easiest to kill, in a sense. I'd say objectively, maybe something like the Vanguard. They have a good amount of health. All their weapons have really long range. Even the Claymore, one of their shortest weapons, has pretty darn long range, and it's hella quick to make up for it. And that I'd also say the Claymore kind of makes that class a little less skill oriented. But like I said, all of the classes take about the same amount of skill, and a Man-at-Arms and a Vanguard of equal skill will probably be able to fight each other on equal grounds. Don't quote me on that, but you know, that's my way of saying every class takes about the same level of competence to play. All right, King Ravi asks, why did you start making videos? Like I said, I really liked the game, and I wanted to educate and entertain. He's subscribed for a very long time. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Ravi. Oni Officer. How many heads have you taken? I have no idea. Then give us a rough estimate. I'm going to say 5,000 or 6,000, because that's about 5 or 6 heads per hour of play, and I think about 30% of my play hours have been casting, so yeah, probably 5,000 or 6,000, maybe even 10,000. 5 to 10,000, let's go with that. It's a big range, but it works. Luke Skywalker asks, how did you start YouTubing? Like I said, Modern Warfare 2 videos with a Pinnacle capture card. And then I upgraded to a Hapog. Don't do that. Don't buy a Hapog. It costs $200. It gathers dust in my closet for the last 5 years. Toads Magos asks again, what is your favorite race to play, favorite class to play, favorite race combo, class combo in 5e? I think I'm going to make that a D&D video as well. I'm going to make it a D&D video, but it's going to be a bit longer. I'm just going to give you a simple answer right now. My favorite race to play is definitely human, because you can do so much with them. They have no stereotypes, except for the fact that they don't live long. My last couple characters have been humans, except for one, which is a social justice warrior half-orc, which I keep talking about. I need to show you guys that. My favorite class to play, fighter, I guess, because they can do anything again. They're very versatile. Also, most spellcasters, bard. I can't decide on a favorite class right now. Again, I'll make another video about it. Favorite race class combo, that was the last thing he asked. I'll answer that in the video, but I'm lazy. How big is your penis? Too big. Mordhau, Hell Wolfie G7. Mordhau is released. Yeah. Mordhau is released. Will you turn into a Mordhau channel? Yep, pretty much. Or will you continue uploading Chivalry? When Mordhau is released, I'm going to assume, personally, I could be wrong about this, that most of the people are going to move over to Mordhau. That's just me. That's what I'm thinking. Highlighted comment. Okay, Liquid Sword 1133. We're getting near the end. Do you like strategy games? Oh, yeah. Which strategy games do you play the most? I used to be much more into them than I am now. StarCraft, I used to be hella into. Command & Conquer was my favorite. Command & Conquer Generals, especially. I was kind of sort of into Supreme Commander a couple months ago, but that was a short stint. Other than that, you know, not super duper into them recently. Could I name some of my favorite movies? Oh, that's hard. It's real hard. As of late, Interstellar is an incredible movie. I think that's a pretty good... Deadpool, fucking awesome. Probably in my top 3 movies, I'd say. It's just awesome. It's badass, and it's hilarious. I love it. Which upcoming games besides Mordhau do you want to play? Not necessarily for the channel, but also for yourself. That's a good question. For Honor, I'm interested in, but I don't have a lot of hope for, I guess. It's kind of sad to say. I don't actually know. I can't really speak to this at the moment. I'm not going to check Steam, but I can't remember. Can't think of any at the moment. Bannerlord, I'm really interested in. The thing is, I mostly want to play games that I can play on the channel, which I'll probably end up doing anyway. Go figure. And finally, where did you come up with your name and why did you start Shiv? Why did I start Shiv? Well, I liked it. I liked the dismemberment, and I stayed for the skill ceiling. Where did I come up with my name? I've told the story many times, but hopefully this will put it to rest finally. Xbox Live was a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. When I was a wee boy of only 12 or 13 years old, I don't remember, I was really into the Reaper and shit about him. I was all about being cool, but not really being cool. So I wanted to be the Reaper, that was taken. I wanted to be the Ripper, that was taken. And then I realized, hey, what about Teripper? That was already taken. What about Teripper? Yeah, I could use that one. I only regretted it like 3 years later. But it's a cool name. It works. Alright, Alexander Karpenko. Since you like FPS games, will you be posting CSGO gameplay? I used to. I don't anymore. I haven't played it recently. It's not really my cup of tea these days, for whatever reason. I'm kind of falling out of the FPS game favor. But that's just me. Did I finish school and how? Not yet. What do I do for a living? From Ehud. This, kind of, sort of. I got a job recently to work at a call center at my school, though, so that's nice. Go me. General Xander, would I collaborate with newer YouTubers? Hell yeah. I love doing that. I've been doing that for a while. Not as recently as I used to. Not as much recently as I used to, just because I've been a bit busy with school and getting work started, but yeah, I'm open to that. Why do I gamble so much? Because gambling is life. Zeman asks, why do you gamble so much? Okay, that's the same question. You already know the answer. Thank you guys so much for all of these questions. 25 minutes. I expected this to go for at least 30. I'm disappointed. No, I'm not. A lot of really good questions, you guys, and actually some cool ideas for new videos. If you have any other questions that I can answer relatively easily, you can leave them in the comments, and I'll go ahead and answer them. I don't have to make a new video for it, but we're at 10K subs. Woohoo. I'm happy. Are you happy? Because I'm pretty fucking happy. Thank you guys very much for sticking with me, fighting the good fight, and, dealing with my bullshit. Thanks, guys, for watching. As always, have a grand day, and I shall see you kind people,